Boom! Welcome to the show. I'm Johnny Casino. This is the Johnny Casino Show. Hi, it's Sunday. How are you? Was your week okay? My week was okay. A little down, a little depressed, but there was an awful lot of good stuff on TV. We had the WandaVision season finale, which was fantastic. I'll talk about that in a moment. We had the Coming to America, so it was the sequel to Coming to America. Also really good, but has some little questionable things in it that I didn't realize till like an hour after maybe a day after I saw the movie. And then suddenly I was like, hey, they're making fun of rape. That's not okay. But it's weird that we'll get back at why. See, I almost went right into it. This is the introduction, and I'm not supposed to talk about details here. I watched the Allen versus Farrow, or is it Farrow versus Allen? Highly disturbing. I knew that he was dangerous in some capacity. I just didn't understand how gross it really all was. And also the video editing black hole that I live in, where I just don't seem to know what I'm doing. Hi. So I really don't know what I'm doing. I have OBS 2.6.1.2 system for recording things. I got it because I thought it would help me do stuff with my Xbox, but for some reason I could not figure that out, how to make my Apple computer, my cameras, and my Xbox stream simultaneously. So it's either I'm on the Xbox as a separate machine, keep that in, or I'm on this, and that the Mac is great. We all know Macintoshes are great, right? We all know that, like iMacs, iBooks, but I don't know technology, and I realize my problem isn't the talking on camera to being here to having a personality. Essentially, it is the editing process in which I am just not good at. This will be an edited video, and I hope to God it's okay. So let's get it. I'm going to get into some stuff. Liz and I are trying to plan our wedding. We want a ceremony, but we also want to just be married. So we think we might end up getting, oh my God, it's the opposite of getting married. What's the opposite of annulment? Arrangement? What the frick is it called? Oh my God, I blanked on it. I'm totally blanking. What am I doing? Am I even prepared to get married if I don't know what it's called? I think we're gonna do that within a month. That's mostly so that I can have health insurance again. Because I need my Lexapro, baby. Also, other weird family kind of esque news is although I have imbibed marijuana. All right, sorry, telling you the truth. I liked marijuana. I've enjoyed it between on and off and habitually for at least 10 years now. Yeah, is that right? About 10 years? I don't know. I was high most of it. How am I supposed to count? But I want to stop completely. So I did that. I am completely off of that. Now, here's the deal. I quit drinking last year, as well as my beer industry job, which is why I'm out of work. Isn't that interesting? I quit that job and drinking because they were going hand in hand, and I had to stop them both. And then I quit smoking cigarettes sometime last year. For obvious reasons. Hell, my dad died of lung cancer. I don't want to get it too. I'm 39 now. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't be addicted to this gross, stinky thing. And it is a gross, stinky thing. And now, 5 months, I don't know, 5 months later, it's so disgusting. It's so gross. Cigarette smoking is so gross. Nicotine's amazing. It's amazing. Speaking of, what's the gum company? Oh my God. Yeah, Lucy. Would you please stop sending me stuff? I've canceled my subscription. Stop sending me stuff. You've sent me about 18 boxes of gum. I'm giving them away to people now. I'm like, are you into nicotine? Do you need some nicotine? Here's nicotine. Here you go, kids. They're not kids. They're all adults that have smoking addictions. But that $20, whatever, $30 a month taken away from it, it's kind of killing me. So unless you want to start sponsoring me, please stop. I quit smoking a while ago. I don't even I chew one piece of gum maybe every couple of weeks because I'm bored and I want to do something. I'm bored. Let me do some nicotine gum. It'll let you up, fool. Anyway, funny enough, you're noticing that I'm able to switch cameras. This took me about an hour of troubleshooting to figure out why it stopped working. I had it working for a long time. I had it very clearly working. I was doing many, I think 32 direct live streaming videos, and about half of them I had figured out this double camera shot thing with this really beautiful Canon camera that gets me a very high definition shot, which definitely makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. Haha. But what I don't know is that occasionally things in technology have a hiccup. They won't work. And one of the technological hiccups, still don't understand it, was the EOS system, which is what, if you download a driver for the Canon camera, EOS is the it's the type of format for the camera. It's just how it interacts with your computer. It just wasn't registering. Like it didn't work. My OBS 216.1.2 wasn't reading it. And I figured, I very quickly was like, why don't I just try one of my other camera services? I'm not talking about like one of my other things. Let me just, and I went in and I popped open, what's that called? not the Zoom. I popped open just the photo capture and was able to make the camera sort of wake up again. And then suddenly I looked over here and the OBS is suddenly active again. So, hey, it works now. That's all I needed to do. It works now. That's all that matters. But it was kind of funny. I came up, I had a little, it's like a kid or something, or a friend or a spouse that you ask them to do something or come out and do something with you. And they're like, oh yeah, for sure. That'd be amazing. And then you go to pick them up or whatever it is. And I changed my mind. I don't want to do it. That's what my camera was doing to me. It was changing its mind. It's like, hey, I'm fancy. You want to use me? And I'm all like, yeah, I want to use you. You're a fancy ass camera. Well, I don't want to do anything anymore. So I'm stuck with this one. I'm stuck with this camera. I mean, it's a good camera. It's just gets grainy every now and again. Yeah, you're stuck with that camera. I mean, I just don't want to do it. All right, I'm gonna get my reviews. Just a moment, but I do want to talk about one other thing. It was weird. I was trying to find the video to recap it, but I'm lazy. But I saw that Sarah Silverman did one of her live like pay for download shows last night, and that's cool. I mean, I like her. I do like her a lot. Like Sarah Silverman. Sarah Silverman. She's an excellent comedian, and one of the longest running comedians I can say that I've really been a fan of. You know, I've always liked her stuff, and yeah, yes, I'm a man. It comes from the fact that I find her outrageously attractive. She's also from New England. She grew up in New Hampshire. So I understand that. I'm from Massachusetts. We grew up in neighboring states. It's just like that sort of like growing up in winters, like with winter, not in winter, growing up in winter time and, that stuff. The New Yorker sensibility that like in the big city sort of like, I'm going to go there. Also, she's old enough. So she's like she's like older sibling territory of age. So it's always like, it's the same thing of like my sister had friends that she would bring over and I'd think all of them are cute because I'm 12 years old and they're all 16. Of course. Yeah. I'm just coming into my puberty and they're all just hanging out, like being girls, doing their hair and nails and talking about boys. And I'm just like, can I be one of those boys? Sarah Silverman's that age range. So a lot of women who were in entertainment at that point got my attention. Duh. Wow. Tangent. The point is, I think she's funny and I like watching her on stuff. I like her being in stuff. And she is also one of the darkest, dirtiest, meanest comics that can, if she needs to be. And it's good. It's always been good and funny. So apparently, I never saw this back when it happened. She insulted, roasted or insulted Paris Hilton on a show sometime in the early 2000s. And Paris Hilton recently on her own podcast, which suddenly I didn't realize she had a podcast. It's just, and it's a sad thing. I just want to break moment here. And this is something that I heard on the H3 network talking about David Dobrik and whatnot. It's like when somebody's already super popular or an influencer, when they start a thing, they have a built-in audience and it's kind of not fair. It's like with nothing other than people obsessed with you could, people were obsessed with Paris Hilton for real. Yeah. Oddly enough, I was just talking about how much I was attracted to Sarah Silverman, not Paris Hilton. Never. It's funny. Paris Hilton today, the 30-year-old, so I think she's 30. That Paris Hilton, she's more attractive than the bulimic looking, pop culture icon that she was before. Maybe calling her bulimic was mean, but I believe she had an eating disorder and it's sad. I do. I have an eating disorder. Look at me. Look at me. Why? Look at me. I eat pasta once a week and nothing else. I just live off of the one dish of pasta. That's what I do now. I used to eat every day. I used to even have my own cooking channel. Now I don't do any of that. I just lost all my appetite. I don't know what it is. Anyway, Sarah Silverman apologizes for being so mean to her, essentially. We're in a society change right now, societal change that's pretty strange and epic. Now, on one side, we are canceling people who were wolves in sheep's clothing, were actual evil, and I like wolves, but they were actually bad, evil doers. I'm going to, in that segue, some people don't get canceled even when they're evildoers, which is a little strange. After you watch the Pharaoh versus Aaron, you kind of will go, why the hell is Woody Allen even alive? Why wasn't he Epsteined already? Sorry to be so brutally mean, but the way they described the abuse that Dylan Farrow was the adopted daughter, young of both of them, was experiencing. I want to murder him myself, and I know I'm probably in trouble for saying that. You're not supposed to talk about violence like that, and who would I ever hurt? I would like to punch him in the face, though. Why did Rick Moranis get punched in the face walking down the street? but no one's stabbing Woody Allen in Central Park. He's lived there his whole life. I got robbed in Central Park. I didn't have any money. I forget what they took from me. Doesn't matter. I think they took my watch, but it was like an IKEA watch. It was like a watch from Target. So, okay. And I don't even remember if they had a weapon. I just think I got intimidated. I think a regular New Yorker is like, hey, I like your watch. And I was like, take it, Jesus Christ. I think that's what I did. Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't get robbed in Central Park. A New Yorker was complimenting me, and I threw the item at him. That's what I did. Okay. Let's get back into what I was talking about. Sarah Silverman has apologized for being real mean. But this is setting a precedent I'm scared of, because you're going to get people. I mean, think about Jeff Ross's whole career is to roast people. And sometimes it's real dark. Sometimes it's bad work, bad darkness, bad wrong. So I'm curious as to whether or not he's next. Is he going to get canceled? Is all roasting going to be canceled? Do all journalists, comedians, reviewers, do all these people have to recant what they've already put out there and made money on? That's the big thing. All right, this is the weird tangent. Sorry. People make money off of what they say, what they do, if they're in entertainment or media. You're on a panel for a show, you've earned money. On that panel, you said some really mean things, but you're a comedian, so you can say mean things because you're roasting the person. It's all in funny. It's all in the realm of comedy. But now, if you roasted somebody, if you said something mean, made fun of the way a politician looks, I mean, for God's sakes, I'm surprised we're not all being canceled for calling Donald Trump orange skin. He was orange, maybe because that was a fact. If it's a fact, and he's a horrible person. See, if the person's terrible, you can say whatever you want about him. But if the person is simply just a public figure, you got to watch your mouth, because what's going to end up happening is 10 years, 20 years later, they're going to be like, you really hurt my feelings badly. I was depressed. It's like, you can claim punitive damages and get the restitution, not of cash, but of cancellation. You can cancel someone for restitution. And that's where I'm worried. That's not because of anything I've done. Hell, I did this stupid thing on Twitter. It didn't make any sense when it was either during the presidential campaign of 2016 or after Trump took office. Sarah Silverman said something on her Twitter, and I responded in a weird, goofy way. It was like I was trying to parody or imitate Trump. But I realized later on, I'm like, how impossible is that? I'd have to I would have to be in quotes in Trump's voice, and then do the thing, and then go end quotes. I would have had to have done. I don't have that many characters. I'd have to do all this explanation for a joke that I shouldn't have told in the first place. It wasn't even a joke. It was more like it was doing what I was like. You look great. I like your picture. You have a nice top. It holds in those breasts nicely. It was along those lines. You have great boobs. Wonderful, great boobs. It was something like that. Really stupid. Really not even funny. It was one of those, you do it late at night when you're drunk. I remember I used to be a huge drinker. And then the next morning you're like, what the hell? That's not even clever. There's so much about my life it's not clever that I've put out there. But that was like one of those, that's not even clever. And then some local comedian I know from here was like, you're a pig. You're the 2016 version of a cancel culture was you're a pig and I'm going to tell everyone around town that you're a misogynist. And it was like, I canceled the tweet right away and I told that person, like, look, it was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I am not intelligent. I did not graduate college. I barely got out of high school. You're some sort of, I don't know, Harvard, Berkeley grad. I don't know. I don't know how to talk. I was in the This is what, see, I'm get angry because ignorance is not going to be forgiven now. If you're just stupid and say things mean, you're going to get canceled. You got to like pick your, like, I was trying to make fun of Trump piggybacking off of Sarah Silverman tweet. I wasn't trying to make fun of Sarah Silverman or sexually harass her. I was pointing out, like, you know who would sexually harass you? This guy. He would say this. What a jerk. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. It's a thought that should have stayed in my brain. And then I did it out loud, so to speak. And so that's my apology to Sarah Silverman and the local comedian who's not even I don't even think she lives here anymore. But I don't know if she's a comedian anymore. I don't know. She's not on social media. To that person, sorry you thought I was a dick. I'm just stupid. I'm just plain stupid. And another side quest here. Being stupid, being ignorant, doesn't mean you are a bigot, racist, misogynist. It doesn't. It does not mean those things. It means you're just floating around, blah, 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 kind of mirroring things you heard that worked for other people, as somebody who's socially awkward as myself is. And you say dumb things. You say something stupid. I don't do stupid things. I don't I don't actually go out and hurt a person. Like I said, I wanted to kill Woody Allen. I'm not gonna touch the guy. I'm never gonna talk to him. Never gonna watch one of his movies. I've probably only seen 3 of them. Didn't really like any of them. Were they too over my head because I was a child when I saw them? Maybe. But also, I remember being a child watching Manhattan Story and thinking, this is fucking gross. Let's talk about television shows because my rants are just stupid, and let's just talk about fun stuff for a minute, okay? Fun stuff. WandaVision, episode 9, which was the season finale, possibly the series finale. I think I think that's what it is. I think it's a series finale. I think these are limited run series, and that's probably best because you can throw more money at that because you treat every episode like a movie. You also don't have to keep an obnoxious storyline going that loses flavor after 4 seasons. That happens to shows a lot. But hey, if they want to bring WandaVision back, I'm for it. But it's not going to be the TV show WandaVision. It was like the whole concept was because of her. If you haven't seen the show, spoilers. If you haven't watched it or you don't have Disney Plus yet, hit me up. I'll let you have my code. But so the show was really, really jam-packed with fun. It just was. The whole show entirely was just fun. But the final finale was really fun. It was really fun. You have Agatha, a witch who has the Darkhold book and is very powerful, very knowledgeable in witchcraft, to the point where I'm like, I'm surprised Sorcerer Supreme didn't already go after her ages ago. Maybe she's that good. She can keep herself out of that damage zone of like what happens when Stephen Strange decides to come after you. That we might find out in the next few movies or shows. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun because she's still alive, even though she's been abandoned. I don't want to spoil it too much, but Wanda basically like beats, at the end of the episode beats her and basically said, like, keeps her stuck in a weird sort of mind trap, which is, a sort of like a prison, but she's free to roam around and whatever. But, okay. So the show is really beautiful. And I want to talk about how every time Vision and Wanda and the kids, Billy and Tommy, are on screen having family moments and stuff, my fiance starts bawling. It's so cute. She wasn't into the show at first. She thought it was stupid. I'm watching this old black and white 50s show. And then it turned, and like, she's like, what is that? Like, I don't, she was with everyone going like, why are these people who are the characters from Marvel movies playing I Love Lucy reruns? Hey, you got to understand, it's all set up. It's a chapter to a book. This is the reason why people didn't understand it. Limited run series. Imagine if that was just a 3-hour movie. It would have been, this is an excellent 3-hour movie. You wouldn't have the cool, like, the theme songs breaking in and out, giving you a sense of swagger and feel. But it was just, oh, God. This is a bad review. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm piss poor talking about a thing. So she's, the crying was just intense. The amount of, like, their love is so sweet. I can't believe it. And it's just like, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, babe. I'm so sad. I want them to have a happy ending. They just wanted a happy ending. They just wanted to be together. Wanda's gone through so much trauma. All this trauma, death, betrayals, being snapped, coming back, fighting Thanos. She could have beat him. She could have. And just the idea, like, you're more, like, as Agatha points out, you're more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. You are you're an agent of chaos. You're a OP, overpowered being. You shouldn't exist, and I'm going to take it from you. And, I mean, that's kind of like, hey, man, she was kind of trying to do a service. Let's be real. She's trying to be a service. Agatha was being of service. It was of Agatha all along. That song, too, that Agatha all along song, God, I can't get it out of my head. So, WandaVision was so pretty, so beautiful. I enjoyed every beat, everything. The fact that they turned the Pietro, played by Evans, into Ralph at the end of that. Like, he's not Pietro. He's not Quicksilver at all. Agatha put a magic charm on his neck that gave him the abilities of Quicksilver. That's it. And he's just a guy who lives in the neighborhood whose house she's been living in. That's it. That's all it is. She's just another victim. How perfect. He's just another victim of the hex, essentially. Or Agatha's doing dealings in the hex. Just when everyone wakes up and they're just begging her, like, let me go to my family. I haven't, will you please let me go? Where's all that stuff just cracks. It just makes me cry. She's a terrorist. All right. The Scarlet Witch is a terrorist. She's she's awfully frivolent with what she does. And she does not care about other people. She's got so much learning to do. She did a bunch of it in this show. She did a bunch about learning with great power comes great responsibility, which is a Marvel trope, but it's real. She has such great power. She needs to learn the responsibility behind it now. Look, she's got time in that end scene. I won't spoil that one. Shows that she's kind of doing that, but it's questionable whether she's doing it from a place of good or a place of or that if she's doing it from a place of fight or flight. She's flight. She ran away, and now she's practicing how to fight, which is bothersome because she already knew how. Now she's learning how to really fight, like sorcerer fight, and that's going to be bad for everyone later if she becomes a villain. That could happen. Also, Vision and White Vision. See, I want to cry now. Vision, she split her soul in half to make Vision. That was part of it. He was, and the boys. She divided herself. She horcruxed herself to make them. She did it naturally, without knowing the magic she was doing. She just willed it into being. Like her emotion said, "Is this what you want? Let's do it." And it did it, and it was creepy. We'll take a break. Back. Okay, so, listen. Take it from me, please. This part of the storyline, the whole fact that Wanda is alive and has a look. Y'all probably know this or not. I had a relationship with someone named Jill about years ago, and we were gonna marry. We were actually she was pregnant and 5 months or so, and we were going to get married. We were very happy, very into love, very wildly fun relationship. I had just turned 30. My father had just died. She had just gotten divorced or separated, and we moved across the country to be together and moved back. It was some people said it was some of her friends and my friends were like, "This is a wonderful love story that you have there." But then the tragedy of reality, and part of the reason why I have so many weird psychological issues, is that one morning I woke up and she was dead. And it's creepy, it's scary, it's a disturbing thought. It's hard to get over sometimes. If I brought it up just now because Wanda has lost her significant other, and she makes a spell to make them come back to life, or the living embodiment of their essence has come back to life through them. Now I can't imagine if I was to do that. If I was capable to do that. All I was capable of doing after she was gone was, as far as how to coping, was just, I kept a lot of her things. I kept most of her things, and I kept them around me, and I indulged in them in the sense of, like, this is a book she liked. I would read it. I would look at every page. I would like, oh, look at that. You know, like those little things. Most of my photographs of her and me are gone completely because I had an iPhone with them on that for some reason I didn't back up. And a year after she passed away, that iPhone died, blue screened, and they couldn't get anything back. I remember taking it to the store, and they're like, when's the last time you backed it up? And I actually was like, oh my God, I think it's been years. I haven't thought about that. It was funny. Well, at the time I didn't even own a computer. I did not own a computer. So why would I just never thought to have an iTunes account. How stupid, right? Anyway, so I've gone through what her character's gone through as far as losing someone. Now, losing someone is hard, but her character had from childhood, and they show it in the last two episodes, how in her childhood she was living in a really messed up, war-torn nation. Her parents were super sweet and nice, good, loving parents. Her brother and her were very close. And one day they get bombed out, and it happened. And you know the story. It was a Tony Stark technology. So she hated Tony Stark at the beginning of Age of Ultron because he happens to be somebody who she deems responsible for the death of her family. Which is funny because she's probably now responsible for an equal amount of deaths or ruining lives. She became a villain in some sort of sad, in a sad reaction. She's become a villain. You can become a villain when you're in a lot of grief and pain. You can end up hurting everyone around you and just treating everyone as pawns as to how to feel better. And that's what the show is about. It's a show about grief. And the last episode didn't help that she has to say goodbye to him with Vision and her children, who she has to end the imagination. She has to end the spell. So that means they all died. They died. They all died. White Vision exists, though. What's White Vision? White Vision is the physical body of Vision, whose sword reassembles and reawakens. But when it reawakens, it's not. They're able to sort of give it less personality, so it just followed orders, and it comes into the Vex and starts messing up Vision. It tries to kill Wanda, and Vision saves her. And then throughout this epic fight that White Vision and Vision are having, Vision manages to use logic on White Vision, and White Vision starts listening to him because it's Vision. No matter what you do to it, that's Vision. I was super, super scared that Ultron's programming was going to be what comes forward and what they were because even when Bettany speaks, it sounds a little bit like it's like a little bit more androidy. It sounds more like Ultron, more like that whole like tangled up in strings. That whole thing that, oh God, what's it? James Spader. God, one of my favorite actors. Better not get canceled, dude. I used to have this killer James Spader. I used to have this killer James Spader impersonation. And it was like, if you ever saw Blacklist, he's always like he always has these little like side rants where he's talking about food, like from a store. He's like, oh, Agent Keen, come on in here. This is Juanita. Juanita makes the most delectable empanadas. She makes the most delectable empanadas. Like, Juanita and I became friends when her husband was trafficking cocaine. I can't. That's every episode of The Blacklist. He introduces you to someone ordinary who he helped out by extraordinary means. Like, her husband was trafficking cocaine and children, and she wasn't into that, so I killed him. Like that was. That's what Ultron sounds like to me. Ultron. Hey, Ultron. Yeah, if they let Chris Evans have his a Boston accent. Hey, Ultron. I can do this all day. All right, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna talk about Coming to America, which is the sequel to Coming to America. Coming to America is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's the funniest. It's one of the funniest. Every beat has a joke. When they want something to have feeling and heart, it actually lands. The sequel, on the other hand, really hammy, but good. I liked it. It was very hammy, but it was good. I felt like the jokes land for the most part. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like Tracy Morgan's in it and he does good. His character is good. It's not ridiculous Tracy Morganisms. It's like, I'm Tracy Morgan. And it's like, yeah, you are. I like you. Oh, you play the uncle of the kid? Ah, it's cool. I like that. So the story of this is at some point, Akeem, I am looking for my son Akeem. Akeem finds out that his daughter is going to marry the warlord next door. And in order to keep the peace. And it happened. Nextdoria happens to be the same nation that had the hopping, barking woman, and she's still in it. She's in this movie too. She's the sister of the warlord. The funny joke that they throw in there. Hey, Bubba, my dog's just waking up now. It is not. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. You're finally waking up. He finds out somehow or another that he has an illegitimate son. He wasn't looking for it. You know who was? James Earl Jones's character was the one looking for it. And you know who wasn't looking for him? The kid or the mother of the kid. They didn't know he existed. They didn't care. They went about their lives living in Queens. Nothing was fine. They were just a happy, regular family. Regular, like, they kind of make the characters ghetto. I guess that's funny now to make characters be ghetto. When it's like, hey man, why don't you just show black people being, this is so, where do I have a soapbox? I'm white. But it's strange that Eddie Murphy didn't I guess ghetto is funny. I guess ghetto is still funny. And Leslie Jones is in it. And she's like really good at playing the ghetto part, even though like she's a sweet lady. She's funny. She's talented. And yet she, she gets she's always the bombastic ghetto chick. And it's like, man, I want to see her in some dramatic roles where she's just the sweet mom. God, that's next for Leslie Jones. If you're listening, the next role for you should be a drama, and where you're the mother, older sister, inspirational teacher, something where you're not just the bombastic, loud woman. You're bombastic. Boombastic is weird. You're not just the bombastic, loud woman. You're the sweet, nurturing, freaking, oh my God. You're the Oprah of it. I want you to be the Oprah of actresses coming up later. Is that going to be possible? I don't know. Is this going to get me canceled? Maybe. But she's still funny in it. Her lines are good. What's not good is that they come to the conclusion that night in Coming to America, the original, where the boys go out to find a queen in Queens, and they go to the bar and they meet all the different women and they interview them. That hilarious scene. My favorite one was Arsenio Hall being the woman, right? And you're like, I could eat you alive. Like that is just so good. So funny. Side note, is drag going to get canceled? Or is that going to be not disallowed? I know it's not quite, it doesn't have the evilness that blackface has, but it is sort of like, I'm a man dressing as a woman to be a really freaky woman. Is that the joke? Just hire a woman to be really freaky. Shit. They hired Leslie Jones to be that character with actual woman parts. That's what they kind of wanted. That's how Arsenio Hall was kind of like acting like, was the woman who Leslie Jones actually kind of represents in the movie. Oddly. But here's the sticking point. She date rape drugs Akeem and sleeps with him and gets pregnant from that. And that's Akeem's son, his firstborn, his male son, who's going to be the heir of Wakanda. I'm an ass. Of, oh my God. I forgot the name. He's going to take over the kingdom. And there's a whole other beautiful side story. The movie goes on for a while. There's a whole beautiful side story of Akeem's oldest daughter, who was supposed to be, who's trained to run the country. She's willing to do it. She wants it. And because of their country's rules of men and women roles, she's not allowed to. She has to marry some twerp she doesn't want to marry, because he's going to give him the nation that she'll just be queen of. Like, maybe her sons will exist, and her sons she'll be able to raise well. But we're not talking about a real good situation for her. And it's a really gross situation. By the end of the movie, spoilers again, everything in this is spoilers. By the end of the movie, she is basically awarded rule of the kingdom, because the boy doesn't necessarily want doesn't want it. He wasn't raised to do it. He's like, hey, I am falling in love with this barber, and she and I just want to run a barber shop. And that's kind of what they want to do in the movie. That's what their plan is. Also, apparently in their city. God, why can't I remember the name of their town or their kingdom? This is why you should write notes down. Prince Akeem. It's not Wakanda. Wakanda just permeated everything. God. Well, whatever. King of all Africa. And that's what he's going to be. So she's going to, and it's a beautiful ending. And in the end, Leslie Jones's character is friends with actresses and actors. The woman who plays Lisa. So everyone's friends at the end. They literally play "We Are Family." It's like that's how every movie plays. That's how every movie decides everything's reconciled. We're playing "We Are Family" and we're dancing. It just seems like it's like dick and fart jokes at this point to use "We Are Family," but it worked and it made me feel warm inside. I laughed so hard I farted when when Sexual Chocolate came on stage. It was this point in the movie. Ugh, it made me laugh so hard, and I don't know why. Other than as a child, that was the thing that cracked me up the most. Was that part of the movie? It was a good movie, and I want you to watch it, but I also want you to take the grain of salt feeling of like, for some reason they loosely used date rape of the lead as the storyline, and there's no repercussions legally. It's just like, oh well, like they're more concerned about they were more concerned about whether or not because Akeem was stating he's never been with anyone. He didn't sow his oats. He hasn't been with anyone besides Lisa, which is weird because I'm pretty sure they banged all of their wash ladies. That was like the running gag was like, we get naked and bathe with you and give you oral pleasure or sexual pleasure in the bath every morning, as what I assumed that was happening. Maybe it was just hand jobs. In the show, in the movie, Leslie Jones's character gets to have her fancy bath, and big strong man has been washing her vagina underneath the water for like 10 minutes. It's pretty funny. And he calls it the royal privates are clean, and it's silly because she's not royalty at all. Maybe they give her a duchess role. She's from Queens. Hey. Let's move on to the next movie. Pharaoh versus Alan. Alan versus Pharaoh. And I'm going to look this one up. Alan, rate Pharaoh. Just to make sure I have the thing. It's on Alan v. Pharaoh. It's a documentary series. And it's a 4-part documentary series, and I'm trying to remember what it's on HBO. HBO Max. There we go. Which, by the way, I'm super excited for the upcoming stuff from HBO Max. HBO's always been great at doing stuff, making their own content. Let's just face it. HBO's the original content creator of good shit. Oz. Stay Tuned, I think, was a show on there. Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Curb Your Enthusiasm. So many movies that I like. So many television shows that I like. Not so much the movies. I don't know if they even make movies, but their movies haven't been fun, but their TV shows have been amazing. Versus like ABC or NBC, they make sitcoms like habitually, and they cancel them after a season. How successful is it? Is you went through the whole process of vetting a program, You've produced it. You paid for it. Everyone made their money. You sell advertisement. You put it on the air and then go, this sucks. I mean, like, I can't imagine that. This sucks. We're just forget it. Netflix is like that. Netflix gives something like 1 or 2 seasons and then that's it. They're like, oh, we're moving on. Netflix is so flippant with their production money. It doesn't make sense. They've overpaid people to produce stuff and underutilized fresh new faces, and also did dirty on some things. I did not like any of the Marvel series stuff on Netflix. Wait, let me reiterate. I liked it. I was supposed to be talking about Pharaoh here. I liked their stuff, but it was so underproduced in the sense of, with the exception of Daredevil and maybe Punisher, there seemed to have been very little work on making it feel like it fit into the actual MCU. Very little work. It didn't feel like it at all. The same way Gotham doesn't seem like it necessarily makes sense with everything we feel or know about the Batman series. But, you know, there's a lot, you're allowed to have different takes on things. I like the fact that we do different takes on these popular ideas now. I like the fact that there's different standalone Batman movies, different standalone Joker movies. I want there to be different standalone MCU films. But MCU is an all-encompassing universe. They can't really do that. They can make single one-offs and just not worry about it. One-shots. Remember one-shots? What happened to one-shots? They got rid of one-shots. I'm sorry you're hearing my old wooden chair rickety back and forth, but this is all I have. Listen, let's talk about the thing that made me mad. Allen versus Pharaoh. Woody Allen, as you might know, is a very acclaimed, world-renowned movie writer and director who is very famous for producing movies like one a year for the last 40, 50 years or something ridiculous, which if you ask me, you can't be that prolific. It's not going to be that good every time. Look at my podcast. But at some point in the relationship he had with Mia Farrow, very good actress, most notably known from Woody Allen movies, like 10 or 15 of them, or and other films previously. This was her like third or second marriage, or I don't know if she's ever married to him, but this was like her third serious relationship with the man, and she already was super into adopting kids and had some biologicals of her own. Because she was so super into adopting kids, she explains in the documentary, which I think you should watch, and I think you should know this, she had polio as a kid and survived. Do you know how rare it is to survive polio? She survived polio. And so she has this feeling inside that she explained. She's like, I shouldn't have lived. I did. There's children suffer. There was so many people suffering. I had a family. I was lucky. There was children there who didn't. I can't let people suffer. So she's over and over, time and time again, has adopted children from countries that are having trouble. And these kids might not have any luck finding good homes in those countries. And why not come home to an established woman who's good at parenting, has many kids, that a big, cute family, has enough money to raise them all. Why not? Why not live this? Like, that's a beautiful thing. And Mia Farrow is wonderful for doing it. And to find out that Woody Allen, her fucking boyfriend, was raping her kids. Fuck him. Fuck that monster. Why is he allowed to? Why is he out here? Why is he out? Why isn't he behind bars? The descriptions of how they people would find him molesting Dylan, and it's so gross. I don't mean I'm crying, but that shit scares the fuck out of me. Why did they make a show out of it? Why didn't they just why aren't there judges knocking on his door going, we're taking you in for justice, motherfucker? Why isn't that our country? Why are we canceling people for telling a dirty joke or there's something they're saying something stupid. We're not actually we cancel people for having texts. Army Hammer has his weird cannibalism fantasy and they cancel him. He didn't actually cannibalize anybody. He just texted a girl back and forth. It's just how he gets off. You get this asshole taking his children and touching them and doing horrible things to them. Clearly groomed Suni since he met her to eventually one day be his real life sex partner and not just the secret one. She probably denies all of it and says none of that happened. And I mean, they're together. And she's like, well, what's the problem here? That's their whole stand. That's his whole defense. Like, I don't even know how to do a Woody Allen voice anymore. You know why? Because I haven't studied him. I haven't looked at him in so many years. I stopped paying attention to him in the 90s, honestly. I think it was 99. Might have been the last time. I was in college. It was the last. I had to watch a film of his for a class. It might have been the last time I ever watched a Woody Allen movie. And I was just like, can we just please watch something else? I remember asking the film teacher, I was like, I'm not really a fan of Woody Allen. Can I do other films? And he's like, no, this is the class. It's what's in the syllabus. And I was like, okay. And I remember I didn't do well in that class because I said, I was like, it's like watching a guy reenact a Warner Brothers cartoon, but not have any jokes, not actually have any gags, just be goofy and like, oh, I want to touch a boobie. That's like all his jokes. I want to touch a boobie. Well, he was. God damn it. His children, Mia's children. So, yeah, if you watch a documentary and you just blow up like I do, go ahead and watch Allen versus Farrow, and you see how gross that situation was and how horrible it was. It's a good documentary, though. The review part it's a great documentary. It lays out a lot of stuff. It'll make you want to vomit, but it'll also make you realize that creepy feeling you might have had about Woody Allen being a weirdo and not an eccentric artist, but an actual like vicious monster. You wouldn't be wrong. I am going to wrap up here. I have to edit this somehow and make it look better. I hope you watch it. I hope you like it. Please stay tuned. Stick around, whatever. Follow my stuff. I'm going to try to do more things like this. Maybe you like it. Maybe you don't. Maybe I totally went on for way too long. I will admit that. But the point is I like to. And I'm going to always keep it under 60 minutes. I think that's the best thing. I will try to have a guest on next time. Have a great day. Enjoy your week. See you next time.